Welcome to episode 11 of 100 Days of Data. I'm Jonas, an AI professor, here to explore the foundations of data in AI with you.
And I, Amy, an AI consultant, excited to bring these concepts to life with stories and practical insights. Glad you're joining us.
The first step in making sense of any data journey is simple. Just describe what happened.
That sounds almost obvious, right? But you'd be surprised how many companies struggle even with that first step, getting clear, reliable answers about their own past.
Exactly, Amy. This episode is all about descriptive analytics, the process of summarizing data to understand past events. It's like taking a snapshot of what's happened.
And those snapshots are what many people see as reports, dashboards, or those ever-popular KPIs that everyone talks about in meetings.
Let's start with a definition. Descriptive analytics refers to techniques and tools that help us collect, organize, and summarize historical data. The goal is to provide clear insights into past performance without trying to predict or explain why.
So it's basically the straightforward story of what's already happened, like when a retailer says, our sales for March increased by 10% compared to February.
Precisely. It answers questions like who, what, when, and how much. For example, how many customers visited a store last quarter, or what the average order size was last week.
I love that the core value here is clarity. If a manager can't see what actually happened, it's impossible to make informed decisions. I remember working with a car manufacturer that upgraded their sales dashboard. Before, they had data spread across spreadsheets, manual reports, and email chains. Once they built a real-time dashboard, it was as if the fog lifted. Leadership could instantly see which models were selling, where, and at what rate.
That highlights the importance of data visualization in descriptive analytics. Numbers alone can be overwhelming. Dashboards and charts turn raw data into stories, making complex information easier to digest.
And those visuals aren't just pretty pictures. They show trends, highlight risks, and flag opportunities. My favorite example comes from healthcare. One hospital implemented descriptive analytics dashboards that tracked patient wait times and bed availability. Suddenly, what was invisible became actionable. They reduced wait times by reallocating staff and resources in real time.
When we talk about descriptive analytics in a theoretical framework, it fits into the broader analytics spectrum. Recall that analytics can be divided into descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Descriptive is the foundation, the critical first step to understanding what your data tells you before you dive deeper.
And from the trenches, I'd say that companies often think they've mastered descriptive analytics, but many really haven't. They collect data, but it's siloed, outdated, or messy. I recently helped a financial services firm clean up their data sources so they could finally produce trustworthy dashboards for their portfolio managers.
That's a crucial point. The usefulness of any descriptive analytics depends heavily on data quality. Garbage in, garbage out, as we say. Accurate, timely, and complete data forms the bedrock of trustworthy analysis.
Right, and that's where a lot of organizations hit a roadblock. They want to jump to fancy AI or predictive models without having a solid handle on basic descriptive insights.
To dig a bit more into descriptive statistics, there are fundamental concepts like mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and count. These summarize key aspects of the data distribution, giving us a sense of central tendency and variability.
And those stats aren't just for academic exercises. Imagine you're a retail chain manager. Knowing the average sales per store is important, but also knowing which stores deviate a lot from the average helps identify outliers, maybe hidden gems or struggling locations.
Indeed. Another common tool in descriptive analytics is key performance indicators, or KPIs. KPIs are quantifiable metrics tied to business goals. They distill complex data into a few vital numbers that leaders watch carefully.
For example, an e-commerce company might monitor KPIs like daily active users, cart abandonment rate, and average order value. These numbers tell the story of customer engagement and revenue health without needing to comb through tons of raw data.
Now, descriptive analytics is not just about static reports. Modern BI tools enable interactive dashboards. Users can drill down into the data, filter by time periods or segments, and watch how metrics evolve.
That interactivity is a game changer in my experience. I've seen sales teams who were skeptical at first become evangelists overnight once they could play with the data themselves instead of waiting for monthly reports.
A helpful analogy is thinking of descriptive analytics as the dashboard lights on a car. They don't predict if you'll run out of gas, but they tell you your current fuel level, engine status, and speed.
So you get a clear picture of where you are before deciding what to do next. But does descriptive analytics ever mislead? Are there risks here?
Good question. Yes, over-reliance on descriptive data without context can misinform decisions. For example, a sudden spike in sales might look positive, but without diagnosing why, it could mislead.
Absolutely. I've seen cases where a product's sales increased due to a one-off discount or an error in data entry. If businesses act on descriptive data alone, they risk making bad calls.
This underscores why descriptive is just the first step. It provides the what, but not the why. To get explanations, we need to move into diagnostic analytics, which we'll cover next episode.
Before we wrap up, let me share a quick story from retail. One client used descriptive analytics to track foot traffic in their stores. They combined sensor data with sales records and found that weekends consistently had high visits but low conversions. This insight prompted targeted staff training and improved checkout processes, which boosted conversions by 15%.
That is a perfect example of descriptive analytics informing strategic initiatives. By simply summarizing what happened, in this case, for traffic and sales, they uncovered an opportunity to improve performance.
And it didn't require any complex predictive modeling or AI, just good data, clean summaries, and actionable KPIs.
So, to sum up, descriptive analytics is about collecting and summarizing data to understand past performance. It lays the groundwork for deeper insights.
And from a business perspective, it's where clarity begins. Reliable dashboards and KPIs empower teams to make confident decisions. Without this foundation, you're flying blind.
Key takeaway for our listeners, never underestimate the power of simply knowing what happened. Descriptive analytics is your first tool in building a data-driven culture.
I'll add, focus on clean, timely data and use interactive dashboards to make insights accessible. It transforms how teams engage with their business.
Next episode, we'll dive into diagnostic analytics, exploring how we find out why things happen the way they did.
Looking forward to it. If you're enjoying this, please like or rate us 5 stars in your podcast app. We'd also love to hear your questions or stories about descriptive analytics. Drop us a note. Your input might feature in future episodes. Until tomorrow, stay curious, stay data-driven.